Greetings and welcome. I've mentioned a couple of times this year how I have gone through my baseball card collection and have narrowed it down to 100 cards that I need to finish my baseball collection. I've been doing the same for football and basketball as well. I've never shared my football list because 90% of the cards are Baltimore Colts, and I think it would be a pretty boring list for most. But I recently did just check off a card from that list, and it's this 1958 Topps Johnny Unitas. It's Unitas' second year card, and of course 1958 was the year the Colts won probably the most important football game ever played. This card has been on my radar for a long time. Either the card was terribly expensive, and this is a card, the higher the grade, the price can get a little out of hand, especially for someone like me who's a budget collector, or they were severely off-centered, a ton of snowing. It took me years to actually find an example that would fit into my Unitas collection. Weeks before this popped up, there was a PSA 3.5. And I think it's still out there on eBay. And I almost bought it straight up. I thought it looked better than a 3.5, which the grade really doesn't bother me. When I'm looking at graded cards, I think to myself, would I buy that card or not raw? And really, I don't look at the grade until I have a price in my head that I'd pay. I just kept going back to that 3.5 thinking, if I saw it raw, I'd probably buy it. And I almost hit that buy it now button several times, but something always made me stop and I never got it. I did keep checking on it to make sure it was still there, but just never bought it. And what really stopped me from getting it was, I think it just would have been me settling on the card just so I can move on. And I'd be lying to you if I said I've never done that. But that's not really how I want my collection to be, and Unitas means too much for me to settle. Then all of a sudden, this one came up. I knew this was going to be mine. I just wasn't sure how much it was going to go for. And since I've been splitting my budget in half to save for bigger cards, that really allowed me to go after this card. Again, it's been years since I've been able to find one in this condition that would have fit in my budget. I just couldn't let it get away. I put in a number I wouldn't say I was comfortable with, but a number that if it went higher, I could live with. The bidding stayed pretty quiet until about 3 seconds to go, and the price jumped so quick and so high, I wasn't sure I got it. I had a sick feeling in my stomach, and I was starting to regret whether or not I should have put in a higher number. But as the dust settled, I got that sweet notification that I had won. I have added a lot of cards in the last 2 years that I thought I would never own, but I haven't been as excited about one as much as I am for this one. And it's fitting that I am currently rereading this Unitas biography when I got it. I read it back in 2007 and felt like I haven't retained as much as I would have liked to have had. So kind of rereading it as a refresher. The card just fits in perfectly with what I'm going for in the Unitas run. Thank you for watching and enjoy your collection.